Cool, team. So today we're going to run through the same warm-up as we always do. Going to hit your turtle shape. Then we're going to work on some headstands, okay? Because we need to know if we are comfortable in the headstand supporting our own weight or all of our weight before we decide to try that from like kicked up against the wall, if that makes sense, right? So you want to be able to get used to that in a little tucked ball position before we try and land in that position, right? But as always, your wrist rotations, that sort of fourth stage. This thing's happening again when it tells me I've been kicked out. You guys still there? Yeah, you are. Cool. So, start, wrist underneath the shoulder. We're going to go forward, back, side, side, circle one way, circle the other with the fingers facing forward, then out the way, then together, and then all the way facing towards. So if you guys want to chip through that, same as always, be nice to start off with. Just loosen
How many
them
are we
off.
doing each?
If there's any sticky bits, maybe stay on them.
How many are we doing in each one?
Just one full circuit. So forward, back, side, side, circle, circle, and then swap over. Swap the angle of your hands.
Okay.
It's been the first time since 2016 that I've been able to do push-ups and burpees on a flat hand. We're getting there. We're making progress.
Why? Is that just because you've never been able to do it before and there's progress, or you've had an injury and it was?
I had surgery in 2016, towards the end of 2016, I think, 17, something like that. And my hand, so there, you can see the difference of like one hand will flex, the other one doesn't.
Oh wow, yeah.
So having to try to do like all my handstands and burpees and push-ups have all been like in this position.
Yeah.
My wrist won't go, but we're getting there. So I don't know if you've ever seen, it's like voodoo floss or voodoo bands as they're called. Essentially, It's just like a really long elastic band that you wrap round muscles or joints or whatever it is, and essentially like restrict all the blood flow and then force the joint into positions that are restricted. Leave it for a bit, try and pass it through its full range of motion or whatever you can get it to, and when you take the band off, all like fresh blood like shoots through it, so it clears out any build-up of whatever gunk's in there.
Okay.
We've been doing that every day, so we're getting there.
For how long?
How long do you keep it on, or?
No, for how long have you been doing that every day?
Like a week.
I thought you were going to say since 2016.
Nah, like a week. I just dealt with it, and then ever since we did the heavy DT day in the gym back when, I did something else to the same wrist on the other side. So I was like, I need to do something about this. But so we're winning. Cool. So if we are done, no rush. We're then going to move on to that prayer stretch, the single arm. 30 seconds on each arm, and then we'll do a minute on both. But that swap over, I'll give you the sort of count in to start. But just remember that we are squeezing those abs when we're in the position. We don't want to see that big extension in the spine. Brace the stretched arm with the other hand. So instead of being here with a big arch, I want to see the abs tight, hips under, and we're in this position here. Dropping that chest down, hopefully feeling the stretch, maybe through your tricep, your lat, front of your shoulder. It might feel like you're being stabbed in the armpit. So we'll do single arm, either side, and then we'll do double. And we'll go on your first one in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Marie, you've got a box. I know a good 5 minute on, 1 minute off, 3 rounds workout you could do with that.
A good what?
A workout. 10 burpees over the box every minute for 5 minutes.
Oh,
10 seconds. It is actually coming in the program. So it's just, I'll tell you in a minute. 3, 2, 1, rest. Cool. Yeah, so it is coming in future. I think it's not next week, but the week after.
Oh my god.
So you have the option of jump over the box or do a burpee broad jump, and you're aiming to do like a 2 meter broad jump from your burpee type kick.
So it's how many burpees?
So anywhere from 8 to 10 in the 1 minute, ideally.
Oh, you say jump over, are you jumping on and then off?
Yeah, box over, so on top and then off.
Okay.
And we'll go into that other side in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. You'll see it. I think it's in 2 weeks. I'm only 2 weeks, or
I might be sick that week.
I'm only the next week ahead in programming because of changes in the world. So, whereas like there's still 4 or 5 weeks of in-gym programming that we haven't got to use yet because I was so far out ahead.
Wow.
In 3, 2, 1. But it does mean that if they turn around and say you can open the gym earlier, at least the next 4 weeks of program is done. But
that's good.
I just need to.
Are we doing the open workouts in the program?
Yeah, so the open is going to be a pain in my ass because obviously that week is I think that week is program, or close to. But I'll have to change the week based on that workout that gets released. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
but it won't get released until.
To do it on the Saturday. I think I'll be on Saturday's programming, but it gets released at like 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning on Friday.
Yeah.
So I'll then have to change the Sunday if needed, if that matter. I'll deal with it. Because let's say, for example, Sunday's burpees and air squats for whatever example. And then the open comes out for Saturday. And then the open is burpees and air squats. I'm like, oh, fuck, it's 2 the same in a row, so I'll need to change it. And then
do you think people will follow that?
That starts on the 11th. The open starts on the 11th of March. But if you're doing them from home, you can do it in class on the Saturdays. Or if you want a couple of attempts at them, like some people do, you can do them as many times as you want. So it's like.
But it has to be done on that Saturday.
No, you'll have from when it's announced. So let's say Friday, from full days, you'll have Friday till Monday midnight to do the workout once or 12 times to get your best score. And then you enter that score, Graham verifies it, and then you start again the next week. Cool, guys. So we'll go both arms, elbow pit, if you want to call it that, on each arm. Again, sink the chest low, squeeze those abs. And then try and lower your chest a little bit further as we get further into this. We're going to go for 60 seconds with this one. And 3, 2, 1, let's go. Good, guys. Remember to breathe. So yeah, the open. You could sign your mates up this time, so that's fun.
I don't have any mates, Maddie.
But at the end of it, I'm not going to have any friends either if I keep signing people up.
You just have to keep it going around the CrossFit community.
Yeah. 15 seconds, guys. Sign Naz up, he'll be raging. 10 seconds. And 3, 2, 1. And slowly come out with that one. Cool. So we're going into your favorite, the turtle shape. Okay. Now we're going to go Tabata on this one again. 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. And we're going to go for the full Tabata. So 8 rounds. Okay. We added 2 on from last week. So no rest. Oh, well, you do get rest, so you get 10-second rest in between. But we're going 20 on, 10 off for all 8 in a row. Okay, so remember, in that position, what we're looking for is we're lifting the chest up off of the floor. At the same time as pressing away, hiding those ears, getting the armpits as close to the ground as we can, squeezing the bum, and then pick the chest up off the floor and hold this position as tight as you possibly can for those 20 seconds. Now, if it gets to the point where you need a little more rest, you can hold for say 15 or 10 seconds and then take a little bit longer off before the next interval. I'd rather the positions were strong than you started to deviate from those strong mechanics to just hold on for the 20 seconds, right? So we're aiming to move well. Any questions?
No.
Cool. And we'll go in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Good, guys. Try and get those armpits as close to the floor as we can. Really open up those shoulders. Hide those ears. And round that back slightly because we are squeezing our abs as tight as we can and picking that chest up. In 2, 1, rest. Nice. Where is my pen? Cool, guys. And then we're going in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Good, team. Remember to squeeze your bum. Stay as tight as you can. If you want to be real gymnast, point those toes away from you. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Ooh, buddy. Nice.
Oh, 20 seconds.
We're going again in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. This 20 seconds feel even longer. Good, guys. Abs tight. Back that rib cage. In. Pick the chest off the floor. Turtle back. Hide those ears. Stay as tight as possible. Good, team. 5, 3, 2, 1. And rest. Woo. Beautiful. Good, team. 3, 2, 1. Let's get it. Strong, guys. Well done. Really press those arms away. Shrug those shoulders up. Hide those ears. Press down on the floor. 5, 3, 2, 1. Nice. You're halfway. Whoop-ah. Beautiful.
My butt.
Yep. That's what we want. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Tension from your fingertips all the way to your toes. You're trying to create like a pole. You're becoming a pole around that midline. Stabilize absolutely everything surrounding the spine. That's where that extra little elevation, pressing those shoulders away, give that extra compression around the spine. 2, 1, and there you go. Good, team. Good. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Good, gang. 10 seconds. In 3, 2, 1, and rest. Beautiful.
Hammies.
3, 2, 1. Let's go. There we go. That's what we want. Everything working. Everything in the posterior chain working. Get those abs working as well. Good. Really get those traps involved as well. Shrug those shoulders, hide those ears. Bring all the big players in. And rest there, team. We got one more to go. One more.
What?
In 3, 2, 1. Let's get it. Last one, guys. Really hold. Create as much tension as you possibly can. Ribs down. Chest up off the floor. Bum squeezed. Press, 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 press. Keep breathing. Core tight. 3. And rest. Beautiful. Good job.
It's just as well we're facing the floor. You wouldn't want to see that face.
Remember that Team Wars a while back? It was in St Andrews. Todd running around with his camera, and when everyone was on the assault bike, you were like, "Sweet, he's not gonna photo me. I'm gonna just look down." So I remember like looking down with my eyes closed, sprinting on the bike, open my eyeballs, and Todd's lying on his back underneath the wheel. I was like, well, there's no escape here. Cool. So, headstand. Now, the reason this is important, same as what we talked about last week when we were doing those piked handstands, right? We have to load the shoulders similar to we load the hips and the sort of posterior chain in our back squat. So we see the shoulders pretty much doing an inverted squat, right? Shoulder becomes the hip, elbow becomes the knee, wrist becomes your ankle. So in our squat, first thing we do is we send our hips back and down. Same idea what we do in with the shoulders, right? We send them back and down or forward and down, whatever way you want to imagine it. So if I'm in this position here, the first thing I need to do is load my shoulders forward, same as I would in my squat. Then I bend my knees, then my head hits the floor, and I press back to that strong position. Okay. Now, when we're on the box or the bench or something like that, that takes most of our body weight, which is cool, and that's going to help us with the pressing strength because we're taking away some of our body weight. And you're still passing through full range of motion there. So you're still strengthening the full range, unless we have to build up a mat or something, but that's fine. Now, if we're going to practice the negative phase of a full rep, as in up against the wall, we need to be confident with that base position, okay? Similar idea to if you struggle with an overhead squat, then you're really going to struggle landing at the bottom of that overhead squat at speed, trying to do a snatch, right? So we have to get used to the sort of negative or the controlled version before we start adding crazy speed and weight to it, right? So what I want you to think about, same even if you're on the box for handstands in a class or anything like that, really load up those shoulders and get the bigger muscles playing. If you can load your shoulders forward a little bit, you're going to bring in your lats, your chest, your shoulders, as opposed to coming straight down in the middle and now only trying to use the front of your shoulder kind of hanging on that soft tissue and it's not as strong, right? So the idea is good setup, just as a guideline. If you were to lie on the floor in your push-up position, so my hands are just underneath my shoulders, maybe just slightly out, and then when I come down onto the floor, my nose, you're not really going to see, normally you can see that sweaty patch on the gym floor, but where your nose is, if you were to lie flat, that's where you want your head to be when you load forward, if that makes sense. Rough guide, right? So the crown of your head touches where your nose would be, and that's going to give you that solid tripod on the floor, right? Instead of a straight line, because there you're not strong. If we think barbell, we have our head out the way of our hands, and that's where we press from until we come through into that strong finish position. So if we think the bottom of our handstand is that set up with a bar, right? We haven't pressed yet, you have to get there. So I have that clear triangle or tripod position that I'm in. So what we're going to do for your headstands, just to get used to it, depending on how high or to what degree you want to take this, you're going to set yourself up. I'm going to crash through this thing. But the idea is, let's say roughly here, I'm going to get myself into that position. My head, the crown of my head's on the floor. Now all I'm going to do is walk my feet in. If I can get my knees to my elbows, I can then play about with taking some of the weight. I can take one foot off. I can then swap to see what side feels better. And then I can slowly take both feet off and chill here for a bit. Now, if you get confident enough, you can bring the knees away and then we can straighten the legs and squeeze that core as tight as we can throughout the whole movement, right? Now, the tighter you're tucked into a ball, the less sort of stress you're going to feel everywhere because everything's real tight and compact. Now, if you do decide to do, let's say, knees off of elbows, everything is mega slow. Okay, no one should do a forward roll. Nothing's going to happen if you do a forward roll. Worst that happens is you get your wind knocked out of you. But we're going to move slow enough that that's not going to happen. Okay, so if you do think, oh, cool, I'm in this little tucked ball, right, I want to try bring my knees away slightly, just everything mega slowly. So let's say we get into this position here. We start, right, I'm here. This is good. Okay, now if I bring my legs away and I feel I'm going to fall over, just reset back down again. Everything's mega slow, mega control. We can hang out here for a bit. We can come back down. Whew. everything there is just getting you used to being in that headstand tripod upside down madness, right? So if you have like, maybe you might want a cushion or a mat or something for the top of your head. Carpet's fine, but that little tripod stance as well is going to give you the best chance of having the most stable point between 3 points instead of it all just going through your neck. So what we'll do is just play about with it. We're going to hold for 10 seconds when we start, but what to do now is just kind of walk yourself into that little crunch position where your feet are still on the floor and you kind of just take one off before the other and just play about with it. No time domain on it. Crown of the head, bring the knees in, and then we just take one foot off slightly. And then, okay, we can swap it back over. We can play with the other one. We can take both off a tiny bit. See how it feels. Oh, straighten up, really nice. Everything mega slow. Nice. That was good. Crown of the head. We're not looking for the floor. We don't want any flexion or extension in the neck. Neutral spine. Good, guys. Cool. Play about with it. Find what's comfortable. Now, we're at the bottom. We're still looking for these abs to be super tight. That rib cage tucked in and down. We have the bum squeezed. Okay. Now, when we're in that bottom position, we still want to create as much external rotation and torque as we possibly can in our shoulders, right? So when we're at the bottom, try not to let the elbows flail out. As soon as your elbows flail out, you can see instantly that my hands want to turn in the way, okay? So if anything, when we're at the bottom, we want the hands flat on the floor, okay? They're turned out slightly, but I'm trying to push my elbows in, okay? You're not going to let your hands slide on the floor. But in the act of trying to bring your elbows in, you're going to build up so much more tension and torque around your shoulder capsule, much more stronger to then press out of that position, okay? So again, play with that. Set yourself up into whatever degree of that headstand you want, and then play about with, right, cool, where are my elbows? Are they out? Are they in? Could I press from here if I need to? Don't press from there yet, but.
Making sure there's enough space on the other side of me in case it follows.
Everything mega slow, mega controlled. Because that position there is the bottom of your handstand, right? Your handstand push-up. Now, if we think the position you're in when you start there with your knees tucked in, that's almost an exaggerated position of the kip variation, right? But we're going to talk through the strip first. It just gets you used to being there, nice and controlled. There should be no stress on the neck as in forwards, backwards, wherever it may be. Just nice and neutral. Squeeze the bum, squeeze the abs, squeeze absolutely everything, right? Just play about with it just now before we get into our timed sets. Cool.
I struggled with yesterday's WOD.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what was wrong with me, but it just wasn't. No, wasn't feeling it. I had to struggle the whole way through.
You did it though.
Aye, true.
Those are the days that count the most. Okay, cool. So we're going to aim to hold for 10 seconds. Right now, you can play about with where you're at in that position, right? If you want to do 10 seconds with the knees tucked for one, or you can build through it. We've got 6 sets to do. Now, if you want to in the 10 seconds, your first 5 seconds can be in the ball, and then for the last 5, we can extend up and play about with where we're at, right? Now, the idea is, seeing you from side on, everyone is in this position here, from like head and shoulders to your feet, which is fine, right? Now, that'll come from, one, because you're squeezing so tight, we're in that hollow shape roughly, okay? We should always be in that hollow shape of bringing the rib cage down, staying as tight as we can. But also because your body will adjust to keep your center of balance, right? So this position here is sweet, so don't worry about it. So don't think, oh, I'm here, wait a minute, I know I'm in that position, I'm going to try and bring my feet further and further and further, because then you'll just fall over, okay? So let yourself be at that slight angle, as long as there's no excessive pressure on, say, your hands, because it means you're going back one way, or on your head, because you're going the other way. We're trying to find that point bang in the middle where everything's nice and comfortable, right? And we'll hang out there for 10 seconds each time. Any questions? We cool?
It's good.
Beautiful. Awesome. Timer. Cool, guys. We'll go for the first one in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Crown of the head on the floor. Nice and stable. Clear tripod position. Awesome, team. And rest there. Nice. Cool. Awesome. And we'll do
freestanding headstand in my life. Like, I don't even think I've ever done that to position. Like, I've just literally got my feet off the ground balancing on my knees, but I've never done that before.
There you go. See? Nice. Cool. Good. So just remember, anytime you're in that position, as long as you're like, cool, everything's sweet, I got it, my elbows are in, I'm creating tension through my shoulders, everything's nice and strong, I'm squeezing my abs, you can chill there for as long as you need to, right? The longer you spend there, the more you're going to feel, okay, my lats maybe start kicking in here because everything's so tight and stabilizing, and your abs as well. The abs are going to light up, your butt's going to light up if you're trying to stay as tight as you can. Because you're working so much, you might feel like, oh, sweet, I'm solid. But like, if we looked at it mega closely, you'll be doing this under the microscope, right? Everything working, shifting weight all over the place. But that's how we need to stay as tight as we can to bring in absolutely everything, right? And we're going for our next set in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. We'll push this one for 15 seconds because you guys are killing it. Nice. Everything mega slow, solid, Tony. Well done. Good, Jen. Nice, Marie. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Good. Cool.
Amazeballs.
Nice. Well done. Cool. How are you feeling, Jen?
Cool. Yeah. That's exciting. I don't quite know how to go to the next step, but I'll just try.
Okay. So all you got to think about is the position that you're in. You're just thinking, once I'm here, I'm in this position here. All we're trying to do is just lift the knees up. You do one at a time if you wanted to. Just a little bit, get used to it, and then try both at the same time. Squeeze in the abs. All you're really trying to do is create a bigger distance between your knee and your tricep or your elbow, depending on where you're at. Everything just mega slow. Play a bit with it. Same as we do with the sort of hand shifts. You can try like left leg, right leg. So it's not just all of a sudden both at one time. And we'll go for the next one in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If we're comfortable, let's try and build as much tension as we can. Keep those elbows in. They should almost be pointing. Imagine the wall was there. The box. They should almost be pointing straight back to that box that we were on the last time. And rest there, team. Well done. Halfway. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. How are we feeling? Good. Nice. So these are just the positions that if we can get used to them statically, then we're going to have a much better idea of where we're going to and how it's going to feel when we get there dynamically, right, when we're moving. Now that position that you're feeling there should be the exact same. Let's say we're not on the wall yet, we're still on the box. It's the exact same idea. You're still going to build and load the muscles in the exact same way, so that all that changes is the loading on your body once we get to the wall, right? There's no point in being on the box and then driving down with your head in between your hands every single time and we're not really in the right position, and then think, right, cool, now I'm going to kick up against the wall, and then now suddenly you're in this completely foreign position and it's all over, right? So the fact that we drill everything in the same sort of setting, regardless if it's on the floor, on the box, on the wall, all that changes there is the loading that your body you put on yourself, right? And we'll go for the next one in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Good, guys. There you go, Jen. Nice, team. And rest. Beautiful. Strong, guys. Well done.
I feel like I can bring one leg up and then put it down, and then I find it really hard to deadlift the next leg up. I don't know, because of my weight some way. And I thought, oh, maybe it's because I've got a really weak side, but I tried the other leg first the other time. And that was the same. So it's
same,
just
same thing happens. Yeah, come down, try and reset, and then go. It doesn't have to be real fast. Play about with it. But that's good though. So like start with, yeah, okay, I'll lift the left leg first in this one. And then the next set I'll lift the right leg, and then that way it's equal as we're going through, right? What we got? 2 more? 1 more? 2 more? We'll go 2 more. Fuck it.
I remember. Too busy concentrating.
Yeah, we'll go 2 more. Cool, guys. And we'll go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Good, guys. Smooth, Tony. Nice, strong. Good, Marie. Remember to squeeze the bum. Keep those abs tight. Remember to breathe. And rest. Nice. We got 1 more. Good, guys. How's our necks feeling? No. I mean, it's new. You might feel your neck's getting tired, but there shouldn't be any like stress anywhere forward and backward. It should be nice and equal.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's under any pressure.
Good. That's what you want.
A wee bit kooky when you move it now, but it doesn't feel at the time like there's any sore bits or the right pressure.
Yeah, we don't want anytime we're going for a handstand push-up, the first thing you see people do is they're upside down. If they're new to it, they look for the mat as they come down. Now this, if the mat hits you here or the floor hits you here, is one of the worst positions you can be in as soon as all your body weight comes down on your hands. Even if your hands are taking some of the load, this position here, flat on the floor, it's not good for your neck, and definitely not if we look the other way and then we land on the back of our neck, right? So the idea is we land straight on the crown of the head, spine as neutral as we can, and we're talking obviously the top of our spine. Same idea. If we transfer it to barbell, when we press, we don't want to see this. We definitely don't want to see this. It's just nice and neutral. Head comes back out the way as we press, and then we come back through, right? Should be no flexion or extension in your neck. Cool, team. Last one in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And it might be we play about with how far away our head is from our hands. Do we need to go wider with our hands slightly? Do we need to come closer? Where are we optimal for our head stand for that base?
Oh.
That's because you moved your hands.
No, I was going to fall.
And rest there, guys. Well done. Beautiful. Cool.
Right, so with that, it feels like your hands are really in tight, like you were doing your push-up, which feels really stable, and the elbows are in, and you feel all that. It feels really stable, really strong.
Mm-hmm.
And previously, when I've been practicing my kipping handstand push-ups with one mat, I know my hands are always wider.
Yeah, mega wide. That may just be down to that's where you've always kicked up to. Or it's maybe where you feel stronger in that sort of locked out position. Because we know that when we kick up against the wall, depending on our mobility, it is real hard to get in this like gymnastics, perfect wrist over the top of the shoulder position. And then if you think that and then you're trying to move, the reason we're out slightly wider is it does give you that little bit more position or room to move forward and backwards. If we think your front squat grip, right? If you come in mega close with your hands, it's real hard to get your elbows up. There's not much room going on here. So the first thing we would ask you to do is take your hands slightly wider, and it just allows you that little bit more wiggle room. So it could just be down to the mobility and flexibility in your shoulders. And that's just the ongoing battle that we all have. That while we're trying to build strength, we're trying to stay as mobile as we move along with it, right? So we don't get jammed up anywhere. But being out mega wide, it's not an issue if you can find like a strong, balanced, sort of stable base. As long as you are still loading forwards and backwards, we know that things in tighter to the body is going to be stronger. And then the further you go out, the harder it is to kind of maintain that shoulder. There's elbows coming in to create the tension. The further we go out, the more your shoulder wants to go that other way, right? So it's just, again, that balance point. And then if we think about like the old or constant open standard that changes all the time, even though it's supposed to be the same. But they had the line on the wall And that was based on like, the first one didn't make sense because it was based on the distance between you, like your fist and your elbow off of your height or something. But then they realized the error that some people have like a longer bicep part than they do like lower arm. So those that had like a longer upper arm could get over the line way easier than me, who has a longer forearm than he does upper arm, right? And it was just this mad thing. And you had like CrossFit Games athletes, legit professionals who have been at the games every year, missed that chance to go because that one workout pretty much put them last in the world, and then they ruined the whole leaderboard. So in the year it came back, they changed it, same measurement, but I don't know, changed all the time. But the only way that we would need to come closer in is if you were like, I'm fully locked out, everything's good, I'm pointing my heels in that case, I still can't go over the line. The only way you're going to be able to get taller is if you bring your hands closer together, if that makes sense. Yeah. But other than that, general sort of fitness and just working on the skill, whatever's comfortable. And it is always good to play about with where you're at, and you might find like, oh, I can do better strict if I'm closer, I can do more comfortable kipping if I'm a little bit wider, but it should always be in a strong position, right? We don't want to go crazy and then we start deviating from those strong ones. Cool, so we're going to apply that to the box, same as we did last week. Okay, so we're going to do those piked ones off of the box, and we're going to load from that setup position into your pike, strong position at the front, and then we're going to load forward clearly, keeping those elbows in nice and tight, abs tight, pressing back into that strong position at the top. So if you need to grab a chair or anything like that, do that. And we're going to just go 3 sets of 3. And we're just trying to mimic everything we just did there. So we're coming down onto the crown of our head. We're clearly loading the shoulders. It's the main point we're looking for here. Clearly loading the shoulders, sending them forward, coming down into that tripod position, and then pressing back into our setup. We know this. We start with that turtle shape, the pressing through, hiding the ears, creating as much tension through the whole spinal column as we can. And then we're trying to maintain that throughout the whole movement, right? Especially on the press. Cool, so if we want to set up, we're going to go 3 reps. I'll tell you when to go down, I'll tell you when to come back up. So if we set up, hands on the floor. Strong position, show me that turtle back, slight round in the back, abs tight, and come down. Clearly load the head forward, down to the floor.
Stuck here.
And press. Don't move your hands.
I'm stuck there unless I move my hands wider.
Okay. So let's try the next one without the pause. Touch and go, okay? Without moving your hands. That might be, see how that feels. Keep those elbows in close. Cool, guys. And down. Touch and straight back up again. Press, 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 press. Abs tight. There you go. One more. One more. And down. Abs tight the whole time. Touch and press straight back up again. Good, Jen. There you go. Very nice. Good, Sony. Strong. Rest there, team. Well done. Good. So it's that clear load forward. Play about with it. I know it's hard now that we're upside down on the floor, obviously, but it's harder now that we're kind of starting there and we're moving. Play about with, cool, did I go too far forward in that case? Did I go too far forward and have to deviate somewhere else to regain my balance? Or did I not go far enough? Play about with it. So again, if you were to draw that guide, it's just where your nose would roughly be if you were to lie flat from where your hands will be on the floor. And we'll go for another 3 reps. So get yourself set up in that position. Remember, when we set up, we're still trying to create that torque, external rotation, and that remains as we touch, and then we press away. Cool, guys. And down. And press straight back up again. Boom. There you go. Abs tight the whole time. And down. Finish back into that strong position. Straight back up again. Beautiful. Hide those ears. Last one. And down. Touch and press straight back up again. Boom. Good, guys. Rest. Beautiful. Cool. Nice. What are you feeling, Anne-Marie?
Can't find that happy medium where I feel strong enough to push back up.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I know we've done this loads and wads and I've done the piked push-ups. I don't quite understand. And it's frustrating when we did the bit before the headstand. I feel rubbish at this bit.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. So obviously this is our strict version. So strict pressing, strict handstand, strict handstand push-ups off of the box are hard. They're really hard. I would argue that depending on the numbers, they are harder than the ones against the wall, depending on our strength levels, right? It's just a completely different stimulus. But the idea is that we are trying to limit the load that's going to our shoulders, and it gives us that chance to touch at the bottom, kind of play about with it. Okay, I can't press from here. Right, I jiggle about. Right, cool. Because most of your weight's still taken by the box, you can afford that little wiggle room to then press back through, right? So we'll go one more set, but just do 3 in your own time. Okay, if 3 is too much, just do 2. Or if you need a little bit longer rest between reps, you can do so. But you're trying to make these as strong as you can. So the abs are tight through the entirety of all 3 sets, from the start of the rep to the bottom to the start again. And we're trying to keep those elbows in close as we come down. So we're not, as we come down, don't let them flail out. Make sure we're driving them in close to the body, nice and tight, touch, and then press away. So 3 reps in your own time, guys. Abs are tight. Big press. Nice, Jen. Good, Marie. Nice.
So my hands are much wider.
Much wider. Cool. So I want you to do the same again, but bring them closer in towards the box. So
you know, and I know that I can't do that.
Not in together, just towards the box.
Oh.
Okay, so same width apart, but closer to where. There you go. And now try.
Okay,
remember, we're loading forward. Elbows go straight back towards the box. Touch. Press.
Right, so that's just a strength issue then, isn't it?
Yeah. So the positions are all there. Just make sure we're not flailing those elbows out, because the first thing you want to do when you get down and you think, wait a minute, I need to move from here. As soon as you move your hands to where you feel comfortable, we're out here, right? And then we're pressing. So that's maybe just because that's where you've maybe always pressed from. So if we've always done push-ups out here, that's like you're internally rotated doing those push-ups, and we're only really strengthening the sort of soft tissue. But if we want to maximize the potential for, instead of going from 1 rep to being able to do workouts where there's multiple reps every round, that's where we need to bring in all those bigger cards, right? All the bigger movers. So just focus on, right, cool. You know you can get there. We just need to drill it into ourselves, right? That's where I need to be. I'm going to focus on that. Even if it comes down to, right, cool, I'm going to do 1 good one, and then I'm going to take heaps of rest. Then I'm going to do another good one, and then do heaps of rest. That way we're just building that strength through the full range of motion, and using the same sort of line of action, right? We're moving to where we need to go in the proper way, and then we're moving back in the proper way. But what we're going to do is, if you feel confident enough and you want to kick up against the wall, we can try them from the handstand position, right? So we can have an extra mat if we need to, and we can continue doing them from the box. It's entirely up to yourself, just a little piece to finish on. But nothing changes here, other than we're going to lower ourselves into that headstand position from the top of the handstand, right? So if we feel confident enough, we can go for it. Now the idea is, we want to set ourselves up with our hands far enough away from the wall that when we kick up, we're in that slight angle. The reason that we use the slight angle is obviously the wall is there to stop us. And if we do the one we did the other week, the sort of nose and toes straight line, there's not going to be much room for your head to load those shoulders, right? So that's where a lot of people do go wrong. If they kick up with their hands mega close to the wall, and they think, right, okay, I need to come down, the only way you can get your head to the floor is if you come down in a straight line, because you know that if you go forward or backwards, whatever direction you want to call it, that you're going to hit your head on the wall, right? So the idea is, when we kick ourselves up, we're far enough away from the wall in that strong position that I can load myself forward, touch, nice and strong. Now from here, elbows are nice and tight, bum squeezed, abs are on, and then from here I'm just going to kick back down again. Don't worry about pressing back up, okay? So the idea is as you come back down, negative control, elbows go straight back the way, and now I'm in this clear headstand position that I can bring my feet off the wall and I'm balanced, and then I'm going to kick back down again, okay? Now, the reason that we tend to not do crazy reps where we build 3 ab mats high that makes my soul explode is because we need, your body is designed to move through its full range of motion, right, wherever we can. So we would rather lessen the load and strengthen the full range of motion than increase the load but only move 40-50% of the way, right? So have something soft for underneath your head, and then we know that even if we do come down a little bit too aggressively, it doesn't have to be a negative in the sense of like an 8-second descent. It's just controlled, yeah, nice and controlled into that headstand with your feet on the wall, and then just kick back down again. Okay, sound good?
Okay.
Beautiful. And all you got to do is remember those points. Cool. My arms are straight. I'm in my strong position to start with. My abs are on the whole time, and it's nice and slow. Those elbows are in. I'm creating as much tension through those shoulders as possible. We load the head forward, and it's just slow motion, touch, come back off the wall again. Now, we just got 5. I've got 5 attempts written down, but that can be 3 attempts, whatever it needs to be. Slow and controlled. Nice. So see, Marie, see how you to move your hands there? That's how far I want you to load forward on the way down, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So start here.
Nice, Jen. Yeah, so try.
Is that what you mean, start here?
Yeah, is that where you felt comfortable?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, try your hands there. Strong, Tony, nice.
Oh, no.
So we'll play about with it. Good handstand, though. There we go. Abs are on. Load forward slightly. Boom. There you go. Nice. And that's where we would drive from, right? Cool. Strong, Tony. Good.
So I'm just losing it in the last third.
Yeah. So that's that. It's where that sort of added sort of range of motion that we're looking for. But that's fine because that's at the point where you want to relax, but we're trying to fight through the entire movement, right? Try and fight is controlled the whole way. Everyone does the same. It's the same as when you do a negative pull up. You get to the almost at the bottom and then you just kind of collapse.
Yeah.
Nice, Jen, strong. How do those feel?
I feel like I can control it quite far down, but I do get to a point where it is just dump on the head.
Yeah. So that, like, the more we do that and the more we focus on going as slow as possible through the whole thing, you'll gain way more strength there, right? It's mainly because by that position here, so if we think our strict press, we are way down here. So your starting position for like you to muster up as much strength as you need to is here, and then almost at that last little bit. So this bit in the middle, you've almost always built up enough momentum to pass through that. So you're still moving full range of motion, but the most stress on your muscle is going to be in this little bit before we finish the rep and the starting point when we're trying to get the bar off our shoulder. So if we think you're normally just gliding through here, but if we think where we actually are in our handstand, it's not here, it's here. So now this is a brand new position for you to start pressing from, okay? So there is drills you can do with dumbbells and barbells. It almost looks like the old DW days where we unwrap the bar and we stop every time at the forehead, and you do essentially half reps to try and strengthen this new starting position, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't take a crazy amount of work, but it is just because, right, cool, anytime that you've brought a barbell back down, you're like, cool, and all the momentum comes down past your head, and then we stop it on our shoulders. So we've never really had to fight at this position here. We normally just ride the bar down and then catch it with control, right? So that little like extra bit at the bottom, don't worry about it. The stronger we get and the more we pass through that disappears. Everyone still does it. It's not and never will be your strongest part of that movement, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially on the way down. Cool. So if you want to have another go, you can have another go. If not, fire any questions at me and we're good to go, team. Well done.
I feel like you say it's finding the hand positions. I find them getting up onto the wall okay.
Yep.
And then when I get up there, I'm moving my hands slightly.
Yeah.
In order to control the descent.
Okay. As in wider or?
No, I'm bringing them in a wee bit.
Okay, good, fine. Just get used to that. So if that's where we're now used to pressing, we just need to almost bring our handstand in line with that. Because if your automatic reaction is to kick up to wherever your hands used to be, now that we've been doing all these drills, now you're strengthening in, say, here. So we're trying to kick up and develop that kind of spot awareness of like, cool, this is where I'm pressing from, so this is where my hands need to land almost.
Okay.
It's not wrong that if you're up against the wall and think, oh, wait a minute, my hands are off, shimmy them about, and then, get into that rep. It's the same idea of like in the gym when your hands are on the plates. Sometimes in the workout, you kick up and like I've found one hand's flat and then I've got like a pinky stuck in the hole of the plate. And then you're like, wait a minute, I need to adjust before I go into my rep, which is fine. As long as anytime you wiggle about once you're upside down, as long as those abs are as tight as possible, you're good to go.
Okay. No. Now I'm scared to come down.
Got it. Nice and slowly. Elbows back. Beautiful. Good.
Balance.
Nice. There we go.
Just chilling.
Yeah, cool. So the idea there was when you were starting off, you were upside down and you were like, wait a minute. You went to go and you thought, oh wait, I'm going to look at my hands. As soon as you did this, instantly all of your body like switches on, like, hold on, we're designed to deal with like compressive and pulling and all this stuff, but we can't deal with shear. So anytime your body experiences like a shear force, everything else just like goes into panic mode to save it. So as soon as you were upside down there, you were like, sweet, wait a minute, where's my hands? As soon as you did this, your body freaked out because instantly your neck, you might not feel it, but your body's first initial reaction is all of this weight is now on my spine, which is not in a strong position, right? The reason we do all this is to keep everything nice and tight. And as soon as you did this, you broke that pole and your body went, fuck off. And then everything else.
You could feel it.
Went with it. And that's exactly why you didn't feel strong enough to be like, I don't want to come down. It's purely because you were doing this. And it's that instinct that your body has to protect your spine, that as long as like kick up, right, cool. It's developing that awareness of like, cool, I'm not going to look at my hands, but I know something's not right. So I'm just going to shimmy it about. And even if you look not great, but fix it. And then before you decide to do anything, bring your head back to neutral, tense everything up, and then move, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. That was funny, that, just feeling it all.
Yeah.
And just like you say, that instant reaction without having really spoken to you about realising it was wrong.
Yeah.
I used to always do the wide hand press ups. Used to always all my life do the wide hand press ups, and then obviously starting here, having to do them narrower and determined not to go back to the wide ones. So I don't know, I think my max rep was 15 previously when we had to do the max rep to failure. But yesterday it's 25.
See?
So it's coming.
It's coming. Muscles, right? Good. Now we're using bigger muscles to help, one, with the press and with the strength and the force, but also that sort of strength endurance, right? You can go for longer. Because all those bigger muscles are playing instead of the little ones that are going to burn out way quicker.
Yeah, because I was saying to Fraser, you don't always see the improvements. You know, you don't see the strength, but you know you're working out, you know you're tired.
Mhm.
You don't necessarily see the improvements. And it wasn't until yesterday. Like, aha, there's a wee one.
There you
I'll
go.
take that.
See? Nailed it. Yeah. Easy. Cool. There's that thing though of like fitness is a compromise, or like overall general fitness is a compromise. So like doing CrossFit and trying to be ready for absolutely everything. Will you reach your genetic potential in sprinting? No. Will you reach your genetic potential of gymnastics? No, because we're trying to be good at everything, right? But the idea is like the gymnast will beat you in a gymnastics workout, but you'll beat the gymnast in any other workout. The weightlifter will beat you in a weightlifting workout, but you'll beat the weightlifter in any other workout. And it's the same idea. The runners will win the run, and then you beat them if there's other things involved. So it's that idea of like, yes, it's a compromise. Some things might get worse because or from what they used to be, but there's heaps more that's got better, right?
Yeah.
We're just trying to be that well-rounded athlete. But yeah, always use the bigger, badder muscles to help out with the movements, right? And then the little ones can just ride the wave instead of having a crash and burn, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome, guys. Good job.
That was brilliant.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Right. We got today's the last day of your nutrition challenge, so
Today is I've got a star bar.
here we go. Well, maybe not the last day. The aim is that we can continue it, right? But
I will, of course we will continue, but I might just have that wee 10 minutes tomorrow with a cup of tea and my star bar, peace and quiet, and just savor it.
Aren't it?
And
that's what we need.
Forgo something else.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well done. Good job.
Thanks very much, Liam.
Yes. Yeah,
Have a good night. See you guys.
Too. Have a good one, guys. See you next time. See you later.